have a pay-per-view where there's a few questionable calls, only 48 hours, you have a brand new show that you can retcon all that shit that you fucked up.
Yeah, you can.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Live.
Some of the endings were a little foobar.
Yeah.
Battleground.
So Smackdown looked to rectify that as quick as possible, and luckily they had that chance within 2 days. And so we started with Owens talking about how he beat AJ Styles. He's the new United States champion. He is the face of America once again, and he's never ever going to lose the United States title.
And he's definitely not going to defend it in this city, especially not AJ Styles, who then came out and said, "Bitch, yes you are."
Or the other person who has a rematch for the United States title, maybe Chris Jericho, who returned to SmackDown.
Yeah, he would just happen to be there.
And he's like, "Hey, AJ, you're gonna cut in front of me? You know what happens when you cut in front of Chris Jericho?" And then he talks about how he punched a person in the face at a grocery store, but he just put AJ Styles on the list.
Yeah.
And at this point, Kevin Owens has just left the ring. He put his microphone down, he took his title, and he walked to the top of the walkway. And then Shane came out and said, "Kevin, here's the thing. You are going to defend your title, and it's not going to be, and it's going to be a big match, and it's not going to be at WrestleMania. Hell, it's not even going to be at SummerSlam. Tonight, you will defend your United States title in a triple threat match against AJ Styles and Chris Jericho."
What?
So, yeah, hell of a way to kick off SmackDown. We've then followed that up by giving Shinsuke Nakamura an actual win over Baron Corbin.
Yeah, because 50-50 booking.
Yeah.
This time, Shinsuke wins and looks strong.
Yeah, he obliterated Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin had a few moments. But
yeah, I like when he caught one of Shinsuke's kicks or something, and he spun Shinsuke around, and then Shinsuke went for like another front roundhouse kick, and he ducked, and then he went for a back roundhouse kick, which usually gets the guy.
Yeah.
But Baron was still ducked under that one too.
Yeah, no, Baron's getting...
Baron knows Shinsuke, apparently.
Baron's getting real good
He's been watching lots of Shinsuke tapes.
Always. He's got the WWE Network for only $9.99.
I'm just saying, it's weird though how wrestlers are stuck in the past.
And I'm gonna
tapes.
I'm gonna jump ahead while we're talking about Shinsuke, because Jinder Mahal was demanding a SummerSlam opponent.
Yeah.
Since he is now completely finished.
The weird
with
voice dubbed over Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, this was it. Maybe it was just the fact that our audio was off and it wasn't syncing correctly. It looked like and sounded like the promo wasn't live. It just sounded like he had done a voiceover. I don't know how he did a voice.
lip syncing it.
I don't know how he did a voiceover live, but he did.
No, he did. He probably filmed it the night before.
In front of Richmond, Virginia.
No, but he can shoot the he can record the voiceover whenever, and then go out live and lip sync.
I don't think he'd lip sync that well.
Well, he was the one that said it, so
maybe. But yeah, so essentially he says that he'll fight anyone because he has 1.3 billion people that he needs to fight for, and
one of those people is not, however, John Cena.
John Cena. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
True, because he's not from India or Canada. Cena comes out and is getting ready to talk, and Jinder says, "Don't say anything. I know what you're gonna say. You think just because you're a 16-time champion, you're going to say, oh, well, I had the Great Khali, I had the Singh brothers, blah, blah, blah." Cena goes, "Shut the fuck up. I wasn't going to say any of that. But I am going to say, I'm putting you on notice because you're going to face me at SummerSlam for the championship, and I'm going to become a 17-time champion."
Yeah.
And then John Cena's soon-to-be brother-in-law, Daniel Bryan, said, "John,
hang on.
There's a thing."
Hang on, it's not John o'clock, motherfuckers.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That only worked when JBL was around.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan says, "John, you absolutely are on track to another title shot.
You had that one really, really great singles victory since you've got back.
Yeah.
in a match where you didn't even have to pin or make your opponent submit.
Yeah. Essentially...
To Rusev, who's now so embarrassed he didn't even show up on SmackDown.
Yeah, come on, man. We need more Rusev.
Machka, damn it.
Whoa. Chill out, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Are you sure about that?
No. I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Fuck you.
Daniel Bryan decides that John Cena can get a shot at Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam if next week he can defeat Shinsuke Nakamura.
What?
So we're going to get Cena versus Nakamura next week, and Nakamura seems very confident that next week John Cena won't be able to see him, but he'll see Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam.
And I can only hope that SummerSlam's SmackDown main event will be Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We're talking about, what, only 4.5, 5 months out of WrestleMania? And the main event for SmackDown at SummerSlam could be a guy who wasn't even on the roster yet versus a guy who was a complete total jobber on the other brand.
Yeah. He lost, I think, the second match on the pre-show.
Because of the Gronk.
We don't talk about that. Take it back.
Nope.
Are you sure about that?
Fuck you, Mojo Rawley, and your fucking stupid friends.
He wasn't on SmackDown either.
Which makes my night.
Then we also had Naomi talking about Natty's win. Natty came in and said, "Hey, you're ruining the women's championship, and I'm going to fix it at SummerSlam." And Naomi's like, "Bitch, try." And then Kamala's like, "Bitch, I got a briefcase and a contract." That's pretty much it for that segment.
Yeah. I just kind of like the whole idea that, like, Carmella's stalking Naomi.
She just lurks wherever Naomi is. I want Naomi to post a picture on Instagram.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Maybe it wasn't Naomi, but I've seen a picture. I think it was Natalia. But there was like a picture, and it's just like Carmella was just like sitting in the background, like in a doorway,
like with the briefcase,
holding the briefcase up like this.
That's awesome.
And Natalia was just like, "Yeah, we get it. You won the briefcase."
There needs to be more of that. Carmella needs to be in every...
She's going to be photobombing all the SmackDown women's Instagrams.
Absolutely. The rest of the ladies were in a tag team match, Charlotte and Becky taking on Tamina and Lana.
Lana did decent in this match.
Yeah, she knows how to sell holds, which is good, because there's a lot of people that don't put effort into holds. They just kind of sit there. They treat it as a rest hold and not as a I'm trying to inflict pain. But she had a couple good holds on Becky, though she's still the weak link of the women's division.
Especially when she gets booted in the face by Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte ended up getting a hot tag, and she just went roughshod over both of them, booted Tamina off the ring, then booted Lana in the face, and picked up the win for her and Becky.
Yeah. I've noticed something that I think is working for Lana.
What's that?
Because rather than, like, I mean, granted they did take her off TV for quite a while.
Yeah.
But it's not like she was gone for a whole year.
No.
And then just showed up at random and started having matches. I really like that, she was gone for a month, and then started randomly popping up on random, NXT house shows.
Yeah.
And now is on, the SmackDown roster and actually actively having matches. And I feel like she's learning in a very important way, which is trial by fire.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen a lot for WWE trained people, because they have the comfort of the performance center.
Yeah.
Where they are being 24/7 basically evaluated by the trainers and their peers.
Yeah.
But they have that I don't have to perform in front of a live audience until they think I'm ready.
Yeah, and I think that's why they put her with Tamina as well. They gave her someone seasoned, someone who grew up in the business, and so it allows her to she still gets that that hey, this is what you're doing wrong, because Tamina knows what the hell she's doing.
Yeah,
but it's not nearly as cushy as being down in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Which, we kind of saw that after Lana gets pinned by Charlotte, Tamina is just pissed off. She's slamming the ring. She's like, are you kidding me? But then she still had the wherewithal to say, come on, let's go. So she's really angry, but she hasn't given up on Lana yet.
Yeah, which I think in retrospect, this is going to do something that they're not going to anticipate. And this is going to turn them babyface.
I think so.
I think what's going to happen is I think the crowd is actually going to get behind the idea of... Because, the crowd was really behind Lana for a long time.
Yeah, I think they're starting to waver now just because she's not a seasoned wrestler.
Yeah, it's because she's trying to wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, before she was trying to wrestle, the We Want Lana chants were everywhere.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now...
Still want Lana.
Yeah. And I think what we're going to see is, we're going to see this thing happening where it's like, oh, she's not very good, but Tamina's trying to help her, and she is getting better each time, and, this kind of thing. And it's like, it's just kind of like a story people could resonate with.
Yeah.
Because there's so many movies that are kind of like that, where
Yeah.
it's the tough love kind of shtick. So I think a lot of people are going to start seeing that and going, oh, that is kind of cool how even though she did lose the match only because she got kicked in the face, that Tamina's going to give her another shot.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see where that ends up going. I do like the fact that Lana is still getting a TV spot, but she's not being just pushed and trying to make us believe that she deserves to be in the title picture. She kind of got those title matches just by happenstance, and now she's starting back at the bottom. Then we had a tag team match where we had Team Drama Love. We had the Drama King, Aiden English, teaming up with Mike Kanellis. He even popped him into his little pre-match promo. Taking on Team Over AF in Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger. And this match started...
I could call them Team Canadian Fire.
All right. You threw me off. This match started competitive. Both sides having, very good moments. And then it quickly became the Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn show. Because, Mike and Aiden worked together really well, but once Ty Dillinger got his hot tag, it was over at that point. Because he...
Kind of like Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
It's over.
Over AF. He comes in, he starts throwing clotheslines and 10 punches and everything that he can possibly do except for the tiebreaker. And just run, he was taking on both guys at one point, as they kind of started teaming up on him, but he was able to kind of dance around them, get a blind tag to Sammy, and ran back over into the corner.
Yeah, they still threw him back to the corner.
Yeah, they threw him back into his corner. He booted Aiden English, which took him out, and then ducked under as Mike went for an avalanche. And so Mike is stuck in the corner, and then legal participant Sami Zayn runs through, haluva kick, over with, and Maria is pissed.
Yeah.
Maria is not happy about the situation, but it was a really...
So Team Heart and Art is down for the count.
That's way better than the one I came up with. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It's a lot better than Canadian Fire.
It's true. But the Tender Ground doesn't seem very good either. And then it's completely contradictory if you call them the guys from the under 10, because that's exactly what Ty Dillinger isn't, because he's supposed to be a 10.
That's true.
So I'm still looking with Canadian Fire.
All right.
Versus Hearts and Arts.
Hearts and Arts. That's way better. The New Day were getting ready to come out and celebrate their tag team title win, but Big E couldn't even finish his intro because the Usos attacked and fucking destroyed the New Day.
Yeah, Big E was nowhere to be seen after we heard him get hit, and then the Usos came out brandishing disheveled Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston's, and just threw them around, slamming Xavier Woods face first into the ramp repeatedly, and then smashing Kofi into the edge of the entrance board.
Yeah.
And then finally, when they were trying to get they were trying to drag them to the ring.
Yeah, they were dragging Kofi, and they got him about just to where the ramp really starts.
And then Big E came out. He tried to make a save, but for his troubles, he just ended up eating a lot of Uso shoes.
And then a herd of zebra appeared, and the segment was over. And that took us to our main event, triple threat for the United States title. And holy God, was this match good! This is definitely pay-per-view worthy. I wouldn't mind seeing this again at a later pay-per-view. Like if these, obviously there's always going to be tension between Owens and Jericho because of the falling out of their tag team. But if the United States title stays somewhat connected to one of these three, I would love to see these three come together at a WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble or something and just fucking go off.
Yeah, and what I really what I liked about this is it just reminded me of where the Intercontinental Championship was 2 years ago, where Miz being embroiled in the middle of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro.
Yes.
All the time. Having the AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho it's just all three guys individually, in pairs, I should say, I guess, put on really good matches with each other.
Absolutely.
So having the three of them together, was either going to be one of two things. It was either going to be an epic match, or it was going to be kind of a lackluster, these three guys are good on their own, but together they're not that great.
Yeah. Well, and the plus side is all three of them are seasoned veterans.
Yeah.
And they're,
Maybe you just seasoned a lot tonight.
Did I?
Yeah.
Have I? Oh. On the video or just overall?
Probably overall too,
Did I?
but I mean,
let me know how many times I said it down in the comments.
I just think you're really wanting some tacos or something.
I would love a taco right now. I might have to get some tacos.
Taco seasoning.
Not just taco seasoning. I want an actual taco. With that completely irrelevant statement,
You're welcome.
Each of them have such, like you said, the chemistry between them in just one-on-one matches worked really well to this, because you have that moment where you can get two people fighting and then the other person comes in and does their thing, but then it didn't detract them when they started to do three-way spots, that three-way strike spot.
Oh, you're talking the forearm into the enziguri, into the super kick, into the Pele kick.
It was just, it was so down, on point.
Triple down.
And that made, the crowd was so with it. The
crowd was lapping this matchup.
They were loving it. And it was fantastic. They did such a great job. And it was, it was one of those things.
Orgasms.
It was one of those things where it's okay, Owens just won the title. Obviously he's going to keep something going with Styles. Is there a possibility that Jericho's back for a while? Because, Fozzie's on break from tour for a little over a month. So, what direction are they going to take this? How long are...
Strangely enough, there just happens to be a break in the Fozzie tour right around the time they build the SummerSlam.
Interesting.
How convenient, Chris.
He gets to make his own schedule. That's how that shit works.
Yeah.
So...
Top Hat Triple H sees what you're up to.
I thought you were going to grab Headless Jericho, because he's over there. So anyway, so AJ ends up getting, he ends up getting dropped after trying to hit the phenomenal forearm, and that takes him out for quite a bit, and so it's a lot of Jericho and Owens. Jericho even hits the code breaker on AJ.
Yeah, I feel like they wanted to make this this particular moment like a big blow off for something that's kind of like it hasn't really been building at all recently.
Yeah.
But like, oh my gosh, here comes Jericho's time to get his comeuppance because Owens fucking took him out.
Yeah, and that's why there was so much like there's a potential that Jericho could take the title here, and every time AJ tried to get in, he was just completely shut down, and so you had the walls of Jericho that that wasn't able to finish it, the code breaker that Owens ended up kicking out of, and it was just. Jericho ended up kicking out of the pop-up powerbomb, and so Owens is just like, no, you're not kicking out of that. Fine, I'm gonna hit you with everything I have. Goes up, hits the big frog splash, and as soon as he does, he gets a 2 count before AJ comes in, picks him up, chucks him out of the ring, and pins Chris Jericho, and wins back the U.S. title. And Owens is just like, what the fuck? He was so mad. He was seething. He was spitting. He grabs the microphone.
Which is hilarious because I'm pretty sure Owens has done this at least twice since he debuted on the main roster.
Yes. But it's different when it happens to you. And so
it's always the same. Unless it's the revival.
Yeah, like your Bobby Heenan comment last night. Yeah, I remember.
Will you stop?
I can only wish I could be as cool as Gorilla Monsoon, but this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So Owens gets on the microphone and just essentially says that it wasn't fair that I was forced to defend the title. It wasn't fair that Chris Jericho was here. It wasn't fair that you didn't pin me for that championship. It wasn't fair that I had to wrestle in front of these people. So next week I am invoking my rematch and I'm taking back my United States title. This hasn't been made official,
not yet.
Unless there's some.
Unless it got announced on Smacking Talk.
It might have been. We haven't been able to watch the first episode of Smacking Talk, but yeah. So there's a potential rematch. I think Shane might shut Owens down, but we'll have to wait till next week to find out. So let's move on to 205 Live, where we only had 2 matches this week. Both really good matches, though.
Yeah. I really, it kind of surprised me that they decided to open with Neville versus Daivari.
Yes.
But then again, I thought about it, I was like, oh, well, there really wasn't any build to this other than
what happened last
Daivari
night.
Clotheslined Neville on Raw.
Yeah.
And
Neville didn't seem to give much of a shit. Like, he was just going to go out and put Ari Daivari back in his place.
Yeah, and that's Neville's way of thinking. Neville's like, well, this is my world, and I'm just allowing Daivari to live in it.
And he had quite a bit of the offense during the match.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what they're trying to establish with Neville. He is the most dominant person on 205 Live. He has been.
Since he came back.
So, it makes sense that when he's going against somebody who doesn't command that kind of presence whenever he's in a match.
Yeah.
Because Daivari usually ends up being on the losing end of whatever babyface that he's going against.
Yeah.
That Neville could just have his way with him.
Yeah. But Neville's undoing in this was the fact that Tozawa was at ringside on commentary. And so because he keeps trying to, show Tozawa that he doesn't deserve another title shot, he does, what happened at Great Balls of Fire happened because Neville is better than Tozawa.
Yeah.
At one point, he just decides...
Not because balls are sensitive.
He is completely... I don't know if he just didn't realize where the count was, but the referee was at a count of about 7, because him and Daivari had been fighting out on the rings, outside the ring for quite a while. So he goes over and he just decides that he wants to try and intimidate Tozawa, and takes his eyes off of Daivari, which gives Daivari plenty of time to get up and shove Neville into Tozawa, and also into potentially Vic.
Corey!
And this is enough.
I think it was just the first time that anybody's been thrown in the direction of the commentator table since he started, and he just panic shouted Corey's name.
He didn't know what to do. But this is enough for Daivari to slide back in the ring at 9, and just as the referee hits 10, Neville goes for a desperation slide, but Daivari wins by countout.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you chalk up, like, tag team wins, or, like, tag team losses, I guess, and, like, multi-person match losses or whatever, you know, albeit it's only by countout, but this is only, like, maybe the third or fourth time Neville's lost a match since coming back to the roster.
Yeah. It's a very small amount of matches, but the fact that one of them is to Arya Daivari is kind of mind-blowing.
It's not going to sit well with Neville, I guarantee it.
Daivari's probably going to get his ass handed to him on Raw next week.
I wouldn't be shocked.
If not, there being a rematch on 205 Live next week.
Hey, rematch on 205 Live. 205 Live next week, we'll see Daivari, Tozawa, and Neville in a three-way.
Yeah.
Match. I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Alright. Then we had a segment where Brian Kendrick kept talking trash about Jack Gallagher.
Because he really wants to hit that point home that Jack Gallagher is a clown.
And then Jack Gallagher is like, alright, I'm done. I'm going to come punch you in the face. And then Kendrick ran away.
Kendrick's like, no, not my face. That's where all my plans are.
And I'm the man with the plan.
Yeah.
That happened. Then our main event was the tag team match, the friendly competition. Rich Swann and TJP both picking their own tag team partners. TJP teamed up with Tony Nese.
Rich Swann had Cedric Alexander.
Team Dabs and Abs.
Versus...
Fucking Corey.
Swandrick.
Swan. Alright. A nice little pre-match jaw-jacking towards each other.
Cedric Alexander.
Alright. Yep. No. Hearts and Arts. That is the height of your tag team naming for the day. You're not going to get any better.
Cedric Alexander.
Just
best.
Keep saying it. It's not going to make it any better.
Rich
Great
Swann
jaw-jacking before the match in a pre-match promo interview where Swann and Alexander were talking about why they were teaming up. We had Nese and TJP come in and start talking shit just before the match started. Tony Nese was on fire with trash talking tonight.
Yeah.
He was...
First he wanted to trash talk Rich and Cedric backstage, and then during his entrance he decided like he was just going to trash talk the entire arena the whole way down to the ring.
Yeah. He counted 8 reasons why he was better than everyone in the building.
There were also all the reasons why your girlfriend's there staring at him and not you.
Yeah. And he told a guy in the front row that if he wanted to be a premier athlete, that he should just give up because he's never going to be better than Tony Nese. He's so good. He's such a good heel. This was, again, another fantastic match. These guys have really good timing with each other. I don't know how often Tony Nese may have crossed paths with Swann and Cedric on the Indies.
Probably not. Well, Swann, yes. Probably not.
Cedric, no, because he was with Ring of Honor for a while.
So probably not a ton with Cedric Alexander, but him and Swann were both, DG USA and Evolve status for a while.
So yeah, obviously you got that, but Cedric can really match styles with just about anyone in the ring. So that really helps. And then
I think it comes from the fact that he used to be so much bigger.
Yeah.
That him being slimmed down only makes him more versatile.
Absolutely. And then TJP he's been wrestling forever, so he can hit all those different styles. He can kind of do whatever he wants.
Except for dab, because that's stupid.
Yeah. I love
I don't know
the
why
crowd.
I censored myself.
The crowd.
A small contingency of them tried to start.
Please stop dabbing.
Please stop dabbing.
Which we appreciate so much. But yeah, timing was great. So I loved the double dive from Swann and Cedric. The the heel teamwork between Nice and TJP was really good too, because they got to play that tag, the heavy hitter and the high flyer.
Yeah.
So they got, Nice didn't have to do a lot of fancy stuff. He's got to play the power game, which is nice when he gets to just focus on that because he's good at it. But Cedric and Swan started to get a little bit of momentum. Swan was trying to go for something and ended up getting he got tackled or dropped down by Nice, and then Nice grabbed him out of the ring and then wheelbarrow slammed him face first onto the commentary table, which was pretty nasty. And
commentary table just took a lot of abuse during the last hour-ish of WWE programming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because we didn't talk about
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens just ripped it apart,
tearing up the commentary.
He was done at that point.
When they started 205 Live, Corey mentioned the crew was trying to put the table back together while they were starting the show.
So with Swan out, Cedric's kind of on his own. He tries to go for his springboard clothesline on TJP. Nice ends up shoving him off to the side, so he gets hung up on the ropes, and then he turns. He didn't turn. He was he escaped a detonation kick. It was right after he got hit with that. I don't know what the front lung blower that TJP does.
Yeah.
So he got hit with that, kicked out of a pin, tried to go for the clothesline.
Well, here's the thing. He didn't kick out of the pin.
The referee realized that TJP had lifted him up too high and his shoulders came off the mat.
Yeah. And so he got 2 1 counts.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of sat up and went, well, fuck this then. This I thought seemed really awkward though, because then he just got TJ kind of just sat around for a second going, now what?
Yeah, that was supposed to be a near fall, damn it. But good on the referee, because we're having way too much of that shoulder up bullshit. So thanks for
I've seen now 8 pictures on Instagram
of AJ and
of Bailey and Sasha from Raw.
Really?
And apparently Sasha's right shoulder was nowhere near touching the mat during the pin.
Ah, son of a bitch. We'll see if that gets addressed next week on Raw. But anyway, instead of getting the clothesline, he ends up getting hung up on the ropes and then rolled up by TJP, securing the win for TJP and Tony Nese. Swan was none too happy, and TJP was just kind of rubbing it in his face as he dabbed more.
Ugh.
And
dabs and abs and hearts and arts. I almost said farts. Instinctively.
You get the artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'll give you the benefit there, but
yeah.
A fantastic match to end the show. A really great night of wrestling, I think. I think they did a really good job of fixing things, moving forward. We'll see what the rest of the build towards SummerSlam is consisting of. But for now, guys, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Click the links down below.
There's a lot of links.
Like a podcast link.
That's one of the links.
Or a Reasonable Wrestling Fans link.
That's reasonable to W.
Like
wrestling.
Thank you, Christopher Walken.
Like walking.
We'll be having 2 punishment videos popping up very soon. Thank you, Owen Wilson. So look forward to that. Go back, check out our review of Battleground. I'm sure to check out the rest of the videos that are coming out this week. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Fuck Mojo Raleigh. Piece of shit.